Hi there, good morning. My name is Roxy Carmiller and I am the owner of Voicercise. I heard that you were interested in figuring out your voice type. Then you'll know what types of songs you can sing, you'll know what types of harmonies you can sing with your friends and choirs and so forth. So let's get into this. There are several different voice types that a person can have, and so we're going to start off by looking at those voice types. Are you ready? All right. These are the voice types that a person can be, okay? So you have soprano, you have mezzo soprano, contralto, tenor, baritone, and bass. A majority of females are contraltos, and a majority of males are baritone. Let's go ahead and take a look at what exactly you are. I'm going to play some of these notes, and you sing along and see which ones you possibly could be. The first one we're going to do here is an alto. An alto is commonly the students that we see here at Voicercise, and so most medium singing females is our voice students here. So hopefully this one is you. If not, awesome. We'll continue and figure out where you're at. Okay, so here's the first one. An F3 is the first alto note. Okay, the highest note is going to be this one, an F5. So if you can sing between this note and you are an alto. All right, perfect. Okay, so the next one we're going to do here is a male tenor. Male tenors are the highest singing male range based upon this. Now I say that because over the last 18 years of me teaching, I have met many men who can sing soprano notes. And that's because they didn't know most of the time, or they did know. But bear in mind that these voice types actually came about 300 years ago when all the singing was really done in choirs and so forth. So back then, they considered that this was the highest singing male. Falsetto was considered a negative thing back then, although now people that can sing in falsetto as males make the most money. Think of Michael Jackson or Prince, Justin Timberlake, things like that. So that's a kind of a old-fashioned way of thinking, but right now we're working on these ones that I have written. So here is this range. You have a tenor, which is a C3 to a C5. Okay, so if you can sing both of those notes. Now mezzo-sopranos are not often thought about. Actually, people think of being mezzos when they're normally in show choir at school, or they've been in some type of choir situation, but I'm sure that you have not heard of this voice type very often, although it is one that's used very much in specific settings, so we'll go over it. So a mezzo-soprano is technically in between an alto and a soprano. And these are the notes. You have an A3, 2, and A5. So those are the notes, those are the range in which you can sing if you are a mezzo-soprano. Okay, now we're going to move down to baritone. So here we go. These are baritones. I'm not even going to pretend to try to sing these notes. I sing high, as you can tell. So here's an F2. I'm not singing that anytime soon. Probably if you're a female and you thought you just sang that note, you didn't. You sang probably an octave higher. It's very, very, very uncommon that a woman can sing that note. This range goes from this note to this note. And that would be a baritone. So this is my favorite part of voice to talk about, as I spent most of my life as a singer trying to get my voice to be able to sing these notes. And my range when I started off was nowhere close to these notes, nowhere close. My mom, unfortunately, she's not here anymore, but she would let you know the same thing because she was the one working with me. The first note that a soprano can sing is this one. The highest note that they can sing is this one. Okay, that's a C6. It's pretty high. Now, I personally can sing quite a bit higher than that and quite a bit lower than that, which means that I am many more than just one vocal range, and I'm sure that's true about you as well. A majority of the amazing belty songs that you've heard of, I mean, like Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson, all those amazing singers are starting their songs in like way lower and going way higher. And if you were to chart that entire song, they would be singing 3 or 4 of these ranges that I talked about. So just keep that in mind. Now, when you're talking about figuring out the voice type, you're talking about this one that you most commonly are associated with, where you're most comfortable singing. And I would say myself would be a soprano because that's what's more comfortable for me. I also sang the alto notes and I also sang the mezzo soprano notes. I also can sing quite a bit of the baritone notes and the tenor notes. And so as you become more of a professional singer and you move through your journey, you'll find that your range expands in all sorts of different directions. So I would just say it's really important to stay true to yourself and to not always put yourself in a box. That being said, knowing where you are to tell other people or to figure out audition songs or to be in choirs or to be in plays or to be in, I don't know, shows on Broadway or whatever, it is really important that you do know your vocal range because you will be asked this question. And if you don't know the answer, you'll feel kind of silly. Okay? Now, the last one we're going to work on today is called a bass. A bass is a male lowest range, and this one is actually not that far off of the baritone. It's only 1 note lower. The lowest note that a person can sing is an E2. Now an E2 is down here, okay? Up to an E4, which is here, okay? So those would be the notes in which a person can sing if they are a bass. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you had a really fun time understanding exactly what voice type you have. Your next step would be to figure out how to use that range, especially if you can use more than just that one. And so we'd be super happy to help you here in the studio with an online voice lesson or with an in-person voice lesson or an intro or whatever it is. The best way to really understand your vocal range is to be pushed by someone who knows what to do to get you to the fastest and biggest results possible. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Bye.